Bobby Bones.
Brothers and sisters.
Tell me about being on Broadway.
That was great.
Because that again, and I have friends that are Broadway performers, and I have friends that are, like musical performers, and they're totally different to them. They perform totally different. So how did you transition from one to the other? Was it the same? Was there something you had to pick up differently?
Boy, that's a good question that I've never been asked before, and I've never thought about it. And two, I've never been in a play before I went to do Annie Get Your Gun. All I know is we went to see it the year before, and I was like, I got to be on that stage because Annie Oakley was my hero. And then it's the hardest work in the world you'll ever do because it's 8 shows a week, and it's kind of like Groundhog Day. You do the same thing over and over, but it was totally so much fun. Now, the difference in Broadway and television is that you're doing the same thing every night on Broadway, and in television you get a new script every week, but they change every day. So you've really got to be on your toes, and your memorization has got to be the best.
Did you ever hear someone in the crowd talking while you're doing your on Broadway, and you just want to say, "Hey, shut up"?
Yeah, you want to, but you can't break that fourth wall. And they're especially on a matinee Wednesday and Saturday, they've got their candy bars and their like that, and somebody's phone will start ringing, and you're going, "They didn't have telephones back when Annie Oakley was alive." Put it off. But anyway, no, you can't break that fourth wall. You really want to, but you don't.
I was looking at your Instagram and I saw you. Was it? It was President Bush's wife.
Yeah.
You were at her birthday party.
Yeah, this weekend.
She turned 90.
90 years old, and she is crisp and sharp as a tack. And he is hysterical. He's so much fun. They're great people, and their whole family. They're just as sweet as they can be, and just welcome you to their home and into the town of Kennebunkport was so much fun. It was so cute. They just rolled out the red carpet for everybody, and all the different restaurants all over town brought in food for the parties. It was great.
How did you become friends with President Bush?
When Shelby was 6 years old, Narvel and Shelby and I went up to the White House, and I don't remember why. We were either playing in the area or something. Anyway, we got invited to the White House, and President Bush was holding Shelby, 6 months old, and Shelby, grabbed his hand and started slobbering all over his thumb, and I said, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry." He said, "I've got grandkids, don't worry about it." And he showed me his drawer in there in his office, in the Oval Office, pulled out a drawer in his country music. He's a big fan. And then from then on, they'd come to the Houston Rodeo when we were performing there, and they'd come backstage and visit. And we've been to their house in Houston and Kennebunkport and stayed all night with them up there. And they're just wonderful people.
Are there a lot of suits around them? Like, is it noticeable, all the Secret Service, whenever you're hanging around them?
That's what Carolyn asked me. She said, "How do you know which one are Secret Service?" I said, "You won't, and you're not supposed to."
Do you feel like you live in the fishbowl too still?
No.
You can go have dinner and not worry about people always coming up constantly?
People don't come up constantly. They might come over once in a while, but it's usually very respectful and very friendly. And no, I don't feel like I live in a fishbowl.
That's interesting, because if I were to see you out, first of all, I'd be completely intimidated by you.
As you should,
I
Bobby.
should. Yes, as I should. But I would have to, because you would be one of the people that I would have to go, I have to do this. I have to get my picture with Reba. And so I would expect everywhere you went, people would just go crazy over you.
Well, it's a good feeling, because when that leaves, that means my career's pretty much over. And I'll miss it because I do love what I'm doing.
Can I say this about your career? It's amazing to see how many decades, and I hope this is a compliment to you, how many decades you've been able to still be current.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge compliment. I've been in the business 107 years.
Well, wait, that's not true exactly.
108. So sorry. But yeah, it is a huge compliment. Thank you for that.
We did a CMT special together, and I'd seen you do, one-off songs, but I'd never actually seen you perform one after the other. And what I saw from you, and I was born in the 80s, but what I saw from you...
Bragger.
When it's not that, but I see what Beyonce took from you.
Whoa!
Like when you walked out on stage and you demand the entire room, floor, people. I was like, that's what Beyonce does, but that's what Reba did way before Beyonce did that. Like, it's that same exact kind of swagger, and I was blown away by it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you have it. You still. It's amazing. It's amazing. We've been doing for 2 years now this Women in Country Week,
uh-huh.
where we've been taking and we've been saying, okay, let's really celebrate and highlight females in country, because it's a weird time, and it's been a weird time even a year ago when we were doing this. You know, before whatever dumb controversy happened, you know, last year we sat here and I said, I want to introduce you guys to some really great females in country music.
Wonderful.
But, you know, 15 years ago, this wasn't an issue because it was just good songs. Like, if you had a good song, it was just a good song.
And it got played.
Yeah, when you were, you know, in your, 20s, 30s, like, who were the females that were, like, your running buddies?
Well, the ones that I looked up to, of course, were Loretta and Dolly and Tammy and Anne Murray and Patsy Cline. And then in the 80s, it was, you know, Janie Fricke was my I would say competition that I really admired, loved her to pieces, still love her. I got to see her at the ACMs in Dallas. Wasn't that the AC? Yeah, that was the ACMs. And was a terrific, and still a terrific singer, wonderful friend. So those are the people that I really looked up to and admired.
What about when you look at a female artist? Who have you seen, and it could be 10 years ago or 1 year ago, and you went, wow, they are fantastic, and you saw them completely blossom?
Well, Winona, when we first started opening the show for Conway Twitty, Naomi and Winona were the opening act, and I was the middle act, and then Conway came on. And when I would listen to Winona sing, it was just like, oh my God, what a God-given gift this child has. And to see her continue to open her mouth and just hit notes, and the soul she has was just what she has, and will have forever, is just incredible.
Reba is here with us now. If a young female artist came to you today, like a Kelsey Ballerini, for example, who's about to have her first #1 ever, she's 21 years old.
On X&O?
No, that's a great song, but on Love Me Like You Mean It.
Love You Like You Mean It's a great song.
So if she came to you and said, Reba, what advice would you give me as a new young female artist?
If you really want to be in this business and you love it, you've got to work hard, and you really have to dedicate yourself to be on time, work hard, and find the greatest songs you possibly can, and surround yourself by the best people with great morals and who are smarter than you.
So you say surround yourself with smarter people because it makes you smarter. You learn from the people around you.
Yeah, if you're running around with a bunch of dummies, you're not going to ever learn anything.
Have you seen a lot of people in your career surround themselves with yes people, and it hurt their career because of that?
I've seen a lot of people who surround themselves with yes people, and they never grow, and they're never happy.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're hearing what they want to hear, and they're not learning. When you're doing something wrong, somebody needs to tell you you're doing something wrong so you can improve. And quit doing the same thing that's wrong over and over again. You're not going to improve.
Who came to you and said, hey, let's improve here? And you really listened to him?
Narvel, all the time. I mean, Narvel's been my #1 supporter and the person who I listen to. And when he says, okay, like we get in the car going to the airport after a concert, he said, okay, on Ann Steele, after Ann Steele, when you said so-and-so, that's, you need to shorten that up and do that. I said, okay, what else? And he'll tell me, and then we won't speak about it again until I go on stage the next night. I just do it. You know, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm fried after the show, but I remember it for some reason because that's good. It's criticism, but it helps.
Constructive criticism.
Thank you, CC, constructive criticism, and that's what you got to have.